I know many of you probably have a few 2024 house projects lined up, so if you're looking for ideas and inspiration for your projects, you come to the right place. Keep watching this video. Alright, to start off, I want to quickly go over some of the furniture that I purchased for this project. I went with the Ikea mom furniture set. I got the bed frame, the 6-drawer chest, and the 2-drawer chest, which to me is just a nightstand, and all of it is the gray stained color. And then for the desk, I went with the classic Alex drawers with the Lab Captain tabletops, and then a few of the Berg Schultz shelves. So the first step in this project was to prep the walls. I had to do some drywall repair and patching because there were just some really bad spots. And then from there, we painted the whole entire ceiling to get a nice bright white color. Continued on the walls, and I used a neutral green color and a light gray. And also, I did this project back in 2023, and it took several weekends to do this. I kind of did it in phases. And a quick tip here, it's a lot easier on yourself when you break up these type of projects. Otherwise, you'll get overwhelmed and burdened very quickly. It's just much easier to kind of break things up and then accomplish one thing at a time. Once I wrapped up most of the painting, it was off to furniture building. We first built the 6-drawer mom chest. It wasn't too difficult and only took about 2 to 3 hours to complete. You'll definitely need an extra set of hands to help you move it around once you build it. I really love the style of the mom dresser. It's very minimal. The drawers are very smooth and plenty of space for your clothes. Next up was the bed frame. This one was pretty straightforward. The only issue I ran into was locking in each of the pieces together using this like circular round anchor. You had to place it at this specific depth in order for it to catch. Now I wanted the bed frame to pop a little bit more, so there's no better way to do that than with LEDs. So I picked up the Govee Smart Wi-Fi RGB LED light strips, and also picked up some 90-degree connectors. And the great thing about this LED light strip, it already gives you a reference point of where you need to cut in order to connect your connectors. Now I just took my time lining everything up and making my cuts, and I kept it a few inches from the edges, plugged it in, and everything worked fine. Then I pushed the bed frame where it needed to go, and I also picked up a set of the underbed storage. I also did a little bit of cable managing, so everything was in one place. I also replaced the blinds. They were just old and dingy. They were like these old school fabric rollable ones. I just used this standard horizontal Fox ones. And now we get to the fun part of setting up the new desk for my son. And I went with the L-shaped desk here, and I think it just fits perfectly in this area. I did it very similar to how I set up my desk in my office. If you want to see the video on how I remodeled my office, you'll find that link up above and in the description. I'm not a big fan of using the legs that Ikea offers with their tabletops. I prefer to put a brace on one side of the wall and then use that to hold up the weight. This definitely adds more work to the project, but I like the end result better. I also had to set up an L bracket secured to the stud close to where the two pieces meet. I also installed these same Govee RGB LED light strips on the desk. Did this pretty much the same way as the bed and using those 90-degree connectors. This one's a little bit more difficult because it's a much smaller space, and I did put it around the edge of the tabletops. I set up the monitors using this Vivo dual monitor desk mount. Now I went with drilling a hole in the tabletop to secure that mount. If you do decide to do it this way, just make sure you measure over and over again and you double, triple check yourself, because once you drill that hole, there's no turning back. Once you find that sweet spot and you tighten everything up, then everything else is pretty straightforward as far as setting up your monitors. Now here in this video, I was just testing the monitors and see how it looks so far. And you'll definitely notice one side is higher than the other, and we'll go into that in a little bit. Now I did do some cable managing here, but wasn't the greatest job. I mainly used that braided slip covers, some Velcro straps, and the cable managing box. I definitely cut some corners on this, but I was already over budget and overworked on this project, so I had to just wrap it up and get it out of the way. Definitely not the prettiest, and I'll have to revisit this at another time. Let's jump back a little bit here and talk about that dual monitor mount. The damn arms on this mount is leaning like the Tower of Pisa, and it is horrible. You can clearly see it here, and I even use a level to show this. And unfortunately, I purchased this way in advance when I started this project, so I didn't even get to set it up until way after 30 days. I might email the company and just ask if there's anything they can do warranty-wise. It's complete garbage, and I don't think I've ever seen any mount that's this crooked. I want to quickly mention the Lab Captain tabletop is definitely on the cheaper end, and it will chip on the edges. As you can see here, my son kind of banged it up already with his chair. It's definitely not going to hold up long term, but I kind of went into that knowing this price range. Final touches of remodeling my son's room was hanging up a Samsung 50-inch LED TV, putting up some shelving, doing a little organization and cleaning. At least now when I walk down there, it's not like a dark dungeon. It's more inviting and warm. I love the modern and simplistic design. There's tons of storage and everything has a place. It'll just be a struggle to get him to keep doing that. Now, besides those two things I complained about with the dual monitor mount and the Lab Captain tabletop, I'm still happy with the end results on this remodel, and I know my son is really happy with it, so that's all that matters. All right, everybody, I think I'm gonna start wrapping up this video here. If you're interested in any of these products that I talked about, you can find those links in the description. Minus the dog, she's not for sale just yet. Please do me a favor, everybody, consider subscribing, smash that like button, put some comments below, let me know what kind of projects you're gonna be getting into in 2024, and I'll see you in the next one.